Today on NASCAR Angels. This ER nurse needs our help to restore her husband's dream. Plus, a tour at the track that combines medicine and racing. And the NASCAR Angels outdo themselves, and an entire island is there to see it.
I'm Rusty Wallace.
And I'm Shannon Wiseman. This week we're at California Speedway.
And you're watching NASCAR Angels.
Kelly Byers is a rookie in the Busch Series, but he's already grabbing headlines. With the American Red Cross as one of his sponsors, he's the perfect choice for this week's mission, helping an ER nurse.
We're here today with Kelly Byers. Kelly is sponsored by Armor All and Clorox, and he drives a Ford Fusion on the NASCAR Busch Series. Kelly, thanks for helping us out today.
Oh, it's great to be here, Rusty. Just looking for you guys, NASCAR Angels, to help Deborah Davey, give her a renewed life to her vehicle. She's done a lot for a lot of people, and it's time for NASCAR Angels to give back to her.
Well, we'll definitely do that. In the meantime, let's go meet Deborah and see what she's all about.
He had this curly black and gray hair, and he had his legs crossed and had a cup of coffee, and I was a brand new 21-year-old ER nurse, and I walked in and I just instantly loved him.
Deborah Davey met the love of her life, Daryl, 30 years ago in an emergency room. He was a doctor with a passion for adventure.
Daryl was a very strong individual, and the way I kind of like to remember him is that he was a true Western man.
Deborah was a nurse who loved to travel.
We sailed. We were first sailors. I was a sailor. That's how we connected. He was a sailor also. And we spent our whole courtship like flying and going to air shows and seeing the United States. So we wanted a place, honestly, to put the flying and the sailing together.
They found their dream here on Blakely Island in the Puget Sound. The island is so remote you can only get there by boat or plane. The couple and their 2 children have spent every summer here for the last 20 years.
It's like its own community in itself. You have everything you need. You can go out, get your own dinner. I mean, you can go out and fish for salmon, or you can crab.
Dinner.
When you're around the island, there's trails for riding, there's lakes to swim in with the diving rocks and the kayaks to go kayaking. It's just a little adventure and a little paradise of its own.
Daryl and Deborah also provided the only medical care on the island.
So we volunteered our health care services on the island, just volunteer. And we'd go and help people who've been injured.
Daryl brought his beloved 1969 Land Rover to the island to serve as a makeshift ambulance.
Well, it was our only means of transportation, and it's 4-wheel drive, so the island has a lot of dirt roads and stuff. You need a car like that to get back to people who have been injured.
It's an old pile of junk that my dad has loved his whole life, and I've been there and watched him take it apart and put together multiple times.
He put like his heart and soul into it to make it like a car that he could use. He used to drive it to work like every day.
It's the original Land Rover color, and that's what Daryl liked, everything original. And so he also, his favorite color was red.
Then, in March 2005, tragedy struck this close family.
It was our Easter spring break, and we had come up for the family.
Daryl offered to give his boat mechanic, Jesse, a ride back home in his plane.
Took off just fine, it sounded like.
So I was on the beach taking a beach walk, and I had a really bad sense. I really did have a bad sense. I didn't hear him come back.
It was a little less than, I think, 3 minutes that we were flying towards Bellingham from here, Blakely Island. And both engines just instantly stopped. We landed a plane that wasn't supposed to land on the water, onto the water pretty smoothly. I mean, as far as I could tell, it still was rough. I mean, we hit pretty hard and windows broke out of the plane and water came rushing in. And before I knew it, I was standing on the roof and kind of looking around, trying to figure out what had just gone on. The actual crash, seemed like nothing compared to what came next. Swimming out there for 40-something minutes in that water was the worst thing I've ever been through. His confidence kept me going. I mean, I asked him, I said, "Do you think they heard the Maydays?" He said, "Oh yeah, they're coming. Hang in there." And so I just kept that in my mind. First guy on the scene pulled me out of the water, barely alive.
Moments later, rescuers found Daryl, but it was too late.
The plane crash is not what killed him. It was the cold water, having to sit in that water for that long. I think about that all the time. Why not me and why him? It doesn't make any sense.
About 3 weeks after Daryl passed away, I was going through his computer case, and I found a letter that he addressed to us in case of emergency.
I love you both so much, more than I can ever tell you. You have made my life complete. Take care of your mom and have a great lives. Your mom especially is the love of my life. Be good to her. I love you with all my heart, Dad.
He was the love of my life.
It has been 2 years since Daryl passed away. The Land Rover no longer works.
The same old story for 2 years. I can't keep it going, and I can't get it in gear.
Deborah is desperate to get it working again so she can continue providing medical care on Blakely Island.
He loved Land Rovers. This whole getting redone and to serve the purpose of the island, I think he would be up for it for sure.
When I get the car, it's gonna be like feeling Daryl, seeing Daryl, like a piece of Daryl always.
Got the brake on, David?
Yeah.
In order to keep this piece of Daryl alive, we need to get the Land Rover to Elliott Tire and Service. So we load it onto a barge for an hour ride and then tow it to the shop.
Well, the big story here on Deborah's Land Rover is the fact that the clutch is so worn this vehicle won't even move. The easiest way to get to the clutch on this Land Rover is to pull the engine out. So the next step, let's pull that engine.
That's good. Take her up easy. Take it up a little more. Hang on right there. There we go. Take her up. Just about clear. I think we should just roll the truck back out from underneath it. This is a clutch assembly here. The owner said it's been slipping, so we assume that the disc is wore out. It's time for a new clutch.
Still ahead on NASCAR Angels.
Big treat for Deborah. She's going to get a tour of the medical facility right here at the California Speedway coming up next.
And we've got a huge surprise in store for Deborah and all of her friends on the island.
NASCAR Angels is brought to you by Goodyear Gemini Automotive Care, an auto service and exclusive tire provider of the NASCAR Performance Network.